Hello, and welcome to DKLIII Done Slow. I'm Hyle Russell, and welcome to the third and final installment of the Donkey Kong Land Trilogy. Yes, that's right, it's Donkey Kong Land 3 with the Roman numerals for some reason. Some unseemly reason they decided to go with Roman numerals for this one, as that was the original plan for Donkey Kong Land 2, and then they decided, kind of at the 11th hour, no, we're going to do the Arabic numerals to keep it consistent with the Donkey Kong Country games. And then when Donkey Kong Land 3 was coming out in 1997, they announced it with the Roman numerals yet again, and I just figured, well, they'll catch that before it gets released, right? They're gonna make it Donkey Kong Land 3 with the Arabic numeral, and then it released with the Roman numeral, and it's still a talking point today if you care about such nonsense. We are now experiencing this, of course, on Nintendo Switch Online, and you can add the Game Boy Color effects, the little bit of color, a little dash of color. Now, a lot of you are probably used to this game, seeing it through, if you're in the West, I should say, through emulation or through just screenshots or video. People often default to the Japanese actual Game Boy Color release of Donkey Kong Land 3, which came out in the year 2000. It was 3 years, a little under 3 years, between the release of Donkey Kong Land 3 in the West and the Japanese version. And by that point, of course, the Game Boy Color was in full swing, so Rare decided to do a Game Boy Color version. And there are numerous differences with it beyond just the Game Boy Color effects, which are a little bit, of course, more prominent than what you're seeing here. I don't think the Japanese Game Boy Color version looks very good, if I'm honest. I don't think it really does enough to justify it being for the Game Boy Color. It certainly doesn't compare to the Game Boy Color version of Donkey Kong Country, which came out in the year 2000, November 2000 in the West, and then came out early 2001 in Japan. But yeah, I think it's kind of ugly. I don't think it kind of works, shoehorning this in as a Game Boy Color game. And they made a lot of sacrifices to get it to work, including reducing map screen animations. And yeah, I actually prefer this version. So a lot of people would be like, you should change your country code for your Nintendo Switch and install the Japanese NSO app and play the Game Boy Color version. Just muddle through the Japanese text that you're not going to be able to read. But I actually think this is probably the more authentic, truthful version of the game. So yeah, we're just going to keep it consistent. So hello, we are streaming this on Twitch, by the way, twitch.tv/DKLIII. We got Traveler of the Stars and March Rose joining us this morning. So yeah, I know. Yeah, everybody wants a new conversation season. It's coming soon. We're getting our ducks in a row. I don't know what that idiom means. It's probably about shooting ducks. I don't want to shoot ducks. We're gonna celebrate the ducks here. But yeah, we're gonna start season 13 of the conversation very, very, very soon. Dustin is just finishing up the seasonal art direction. Matt is using this as a chance to do some more theme songs. More on that when the season premieres. But yeah, we'll be starting really soon. But let's focus on Donkey Kong Land 3 right now. So you can see this is kind of a little facsimile of the VHS aesthetic of Donkey Kong Country 3, Wrinkly save cave and what have you. And we have bonus coins, we have hero coins, a la DK coins, and we have stopwatches? Yeah, stopwatches. More on that later. Hello to Gem as well. So, yes, Donkey Kong Land 3, let's just okay, this is DKLIII Done Slow, so I don't really have to jump into it yet. I can just talk. I can just talk, so I'm just gonna talk. Donkey Kong Land 3 is a bit of a middle ground between Donkey Kong Land and Donkey Kong Land 2, in that it is presented as an entirely new adventure. There's none of this like watered down, this is just the experience you saw in the Super Nintendo again. I mean, it is. I mean, that's all 3 Donkey Kong Land games present that in some form or fashion. Donkey Kong Land 1 really went in on it being an actual follow-up to Donkey Kong Country, with Cranky challenging Donkey and Diddy to retrieve the Banana Horde again, but on an 8-bit system. And then we had new worlds, we had new level archetypes, we had new enemies, we had a lot of new in that game. Donkey Kong Land 2 was just presented as the same adventure, more or less. And, yeah, of course, I can fan wank a way to make it work as a separate adventure to keep the Donkey Kong Land Trilogy consistent with the Super Nintendo versions, but it was basically just the same game again, but with different level layouts, and, you know, a couple new levels when they couldn't recreate the Super Nintendo version therein. Donkey Kong Land 3 has the same level archetypes as Donkey Kong Country 3. Like, there are no new archetypes here. There's no levels along the lines of like Kremlantis temples or Big Ape City or the mountains of Monkey Mountains or the heights of Chimpanzee Clouds. None of that. But we do have new worlds, like presented as new levels. This is still the Northern Hemisphere, but this is just a different area of the Northern Hemisphere. Considering we seem to be on an actual shoreline here, I think this is supposed to be the southern area of the Northern Hemisphere, so beneath where we were in Donkey Kong Country 3. So kind of like a little bit more lowlands, a little bit more sea level, although that will change as the game progresses. And yeah, so it's a nice middle ground. I'm glad they made more effort with Donkey Kong Land 3. It is a Donkey Kong Land 2 engine again, so it plays about the same, but they actually did more in terms of presentation, in more ways that it can actually blend with Donkey Kong Country 3 rather than just be this thing that kind of exists as well. And I think it has one of the weirdest plots of all 6 of the original 2D Donkey Kong, modern Donkey Kong platformers, because this is the only game with Donkey Kong in the title that Donkey Kong does not appear at all. And it's the only time in Rare's tenure in the Donkey Kong series that Diddy doesn't appear at all. They do exist in the story, they are apparently just off screen the entire time, but they do not make a single cameo appearance in this. This is Dixie Kong's show, completely. And Kiddy is there as well. And the storyline for Donkey Kong Land 3 is... Well, let's go into Cape Codswallop real quick. Yeah, Red Wharf. More on the level names in a bit, but the story for Donkey Kong Land 3 is that there is another fabled lost world in the Northern Hemisphere. Not Krematoa, but just another lost world. And maybe, presumably, because Krematoa was discovered the previous year, there's this frenzy to find the remaining lost world of the Northern Hemisphere, and so there is a contest being held. We don't know who's putting on this contest. At DKLIII, we've hypothesized it's a local radio station, it could be a TV station, it could be this independent historical group. We don't know. It's kind of not important. You can use your imagination, whatever tickles your fancy the most. But yeah, there's a contest, and so intrepid explorers from around the Rare Archipelago are descending upon this region of the Northern Hemisphere to find the lost world. And Donkey and Diddy were like, well, shit, we're the best explorers around. We've gone on so many adventures. Diddy has found the lost world of the Kremlings. Why don't we go? And they just headed off together. Didn't ask Dixie if she wanted to participate. Dixie, who, by the way, helped Diddy find the lost world of the Kremlings, who found Krematoa with Kiddy and the help of Blunder Bear. So Dixie's kind of like, what the hell? Like, I thought I was part of this team. I thought that was established. I thought I was like part of this trinity of explorers, adventurers, of heroes, video game heroes. And so she's like, okay, well, fuck you two. I'm gonna get even. I'm gonna get Kiddy. I'm just gonna abduct Kiddy from his house, and I'm going to beat you to find a lost world. The other lost world of the Northern Hemisphere. So that's all well and good, but as it turns out, the Kremlings are also trying to find the lost world. And at this point in time, it's kind of unclear, right? Like, who the Kremlings are actually being led by. Because Chaos, spoilers, does appear later on in Donkey Kong Land 3. Now, Chaos is no longer being controlled by Donkey and Diddy, of course, but Chaos is present. So, is K. Rool's little ruse, is that really known to the wider Kremlin crew yet? I don't know. K. Rool is still mucking about as well. I don't know if he is fully, like, leading the Kremlings at this point, or if it's Chaos, or if he's still orchestrating Chaos from behind the scenes, or if he's, like, his own independent agent trying to find the lost world. Like separate from the Kremlin crew. It's all a bit unclear. I mean, the story isn't that deep, and it doesn't get that in depth, but it does lay some interesting groundwork for the future of the series. I think Donkey Kong Land 3, when you actually like plug it in to the greater tapestry of the series, and I'm including Donkey Kong 64 in there as well. I think Donkey Kong Land 3 actually works really well as kind of like a segue into the N64 years. Because this did come out in the late 1997, about a month and a half, almost 2 months before Diddy Kong Racing was released. So this game, it came out at an odd time after Mario Kart 64. So Donkey Kong had already appeared on the N64, mind you, but it does feel like it shouldn't be that late. It feels like it should be much earlier in the historical chronology than 1997, a year into the N64. So yeah, it feels a little bit dated, but look, they do some cool things with that. Look at that animated map screen. You're not going to see that in Lands 1 and 2. You've got the flickering light in Wrinkly's cave. You've got the water wheel on the mill. You've got the little shimmying water. That's great. I think that's great. Like, it's clear that Rare and this team were not resting on their laurels. Even though this had come out when the original Game Boy, of course the Game Boy Pocket was out by this point, but the original Game Boy was kind of rickety at this point. This was still a year before Pokemon came to the West, which kind of gave it that like shot in the arm right around this time the Game Boy Color came out. But yeah, like, I'm glad they finished the trilogy. I'm glad that we got a third Donkey Kong Land game, and I do think it's a nice kind of end to the original era of Donkey Kong, of the Donkey Kong universe with Rare, and it kind of led into Diddy Kong Racing then. I mean, not in any narrative sense, but just it kind of wrapped up some loose threads with the original 6, and then kind of laid the groundwork for what would come on the N64, the spin-off era, as we call it. Heisman64 says, I think the events of this game explain why Dixie didn't help during the events of DK64. She and Diddy were broken up during that time, but later on got back together. Yeah, that's a theory, all right. Although her little sister was involved, which, you know, it'd be a bit weird hanging out with your ex, your sister's ex, but I don't know. I would think Dixie would have gotten involved in DK64, considering, you know, the fate of Donkey Kong Island was at stake. But she just wasn't abducted by the Kremlins. Why she couldn't participate, I don't know. I have theories on Donkey Kong 64's story, but yeah. So this is Donkey and Diddy being a little misogynist, basically, because they went off without Dixie. They're like, well, we don't need Dixie, really. We're the bros. We're the adventuring bros. The boys. The boys are back in town. And they just left Dixie behind. And so this is really a feminist anthem, Donkey Kong Land 3. And you'd think Dixie would have proven herself to the others by now, especially after Donkey Kong Country 3. But no. So Donkey Kong Land 3, you are competing against, at the very least, two different forces. Another double trouble, but in a different sense. You are competing against the Kremlin crew. And maybe we can even add K. Rool as a third element if we are to assume that K. Rool and the Kremlin crew are kind of working independently of one another at this time. And you're working against Donkey and Diddy. You're trying to prove that Dixie, and to a lesser extent Kiddy, are just as valid adventurers as the original Kong tandem. So it's a really interesting kind of way to go about this. And I do like that Donkey and Diddy don't even appear in this at all. I like that we're at this point in Rare's tenure with Donkey Kong where, yeah, you don't even need a cameo appearance by Donkey Kong. Diddy doesn't even need to show up. This could just be Dixie's game, and that is fine. I really enjoyed that kind of thing. And of course, this was, you know, a little under 2 months away from Diddy Kong Racing as well, which really, at the time, seemed like, oh, Rare is really just running with any character can have their own game. And you don't really need to go through this justification of Donkey Kong is kidnapped, or Donkey and Diddy are missing and are being used as the organic brain matter of a killer robot. You don't need to justify it. This is just a particular character's adventure, and they may team up with somebody we know, they may not. So this was really a time period in the DKU that felt limitless. Of course, that would not last, but I still look back very fondly on it. So as you can see, Red Dwarf, very clearly a pun on Red Dwarf, the long-running UK sci-fi comedy show. And I think Lee Loveday did the titles for this game. And at this point, they were just wilding. The team behind this game, and Lee Loveday, I think maybe because it's the third one, they assume it's not going to sell as much as the other two. It's coming out at a time where like everything concerning the industry and Nintendo is in flux. You know, people are making the jump to the N64. The future of the Game Boy is the Game Boy Color. And so they're like, this game might not have a long shelf life, so let's just get weird with it because who the hell is going to stop us? So this game is noteworthy for having some of the best level names. Just absolute masterclass in level puns. Of course, it only works in English, some of these puns, but I love them. I love them. Well, I'll point out some of my favorites as we go. So let me just get a hang of the controls really quick, because I have been playing Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Okay. It plays like Donkey Kong Land 2. Ah. Now, you see that? You see that little balloon right there, that life balloon? That was a Diddy Kong balloon. For whatever reason, they did not put in the Dixie balloons from DKC3 into this. They didn't do the work. Maybe they had the Diddy balloons in as a placeholder. This was, of course, the Donkey Kong Land 2 engine. And then they just decided, nobody's gonna care. Or they ran out of time. I don't know, but It's weird. It's weird that the Diddy balloons are in there. My headcanon for that, by the way, is because Donkey and Diddy are just off screen. They're nearby. They're trying to find a Lost World themselves. Maybe it is whoever has video game hero tenure, like whoever has the longest time as a video game hero and is nearest to the life balloons takes the form of their head. I don't really know. I think what's happening is that we are finding Diddy's life balloons because he and Donkey are nearby, and for whatever reason, maybe Diddy is finding Dixie's life balloons. It's just all muddled. So yeah, it's one of the curiosities of Donkey Kong Land 3, of which there are a few more we're gonna discuss as we go. And as you can see, the teleportation effect is the same as Donkey Kong Land 2. They have the same teleportation devices. Kiddy basically plays the same. He doesn't have his water skip. So there's no water skipping in this one. For as little as you used it in DKC3, it's probably fine. I guess the water in this part of the Northern Hemisphere just isn't as buoyant, right? Less minerals in the water because you get the nice mountain lake water, while this is more sea level, so it's more watered down with yeah, I don't know how anything works, honestly. Oh, I just hit the fucking warp barrel. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't want to go in a warp barrel. I wanted to play the level. That's crap. I'm gonna go backwards. You know what? We're gonna see this level in reverse if we can. There's a G. There's a bonus barrel up there. Let's see how far back I can get. Probably not far, considering they kind of gate you off here. Well, that's just great. I wasn't trying to get into a warp barrel. I was trying to just see the lovely sights of Red Wharf. That's crap. Well, alright. Well, you know what? These things happen. We just have to smile, have a little bit of a laugh, a little bit of a chuckle. I can't even jump out of here. Alright. Anything over there? Nope. Okay. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Well, there's the coin, at least. As you can see, you got a little bit of the reversey effect there. They, you know, they could only do so much, folks. It's the original Game Boy. But yeah, coins are back. They are, once again, guarding the DK coins. Hero coins. Although, you know, Dixie's already proven herself. They could maybe just be DK coins at this point. But, yeah. I've got a theory about why the hero coins are in play again. But to explain that, I'm going to have to wait just a little bit. And we got the limp flag, the flaccid flag of not getting all of the bonus areas. We got to go back. It's fine. DKLIII done slow, am I right? You can see, you got a little bit of the Donkey Kong Land 2 level design here, where you've got just like massive, abnormally large juts like upwards for the level. Like this is just a wild and weird boardwalk here. Because, you know, my biggest complaint about Donkey Kong Land 3 that I kept defaulting to during my slow run of that was that the screen visibility is reduced. So it was trying to be Donkey Kong Country 2, and it couldn't really be Donkey Kong Country 2. And so a lot of the like design didn't really accommodate that. But it still did things to kind of make up for the reduced visibility. And Donkey Kong Land 3 really leans into it, I think, a little bit more effectively, probably, than Donkey Kong Land 2 does. It helps that Donkey Kong Land 3 is not trying to be Country 3 so much. The stilt music, I think, works well on the Game Boy. The little 8-bit rendition of it, I think it's a nice version of it. I think something like that works well on the Game Boy. And yeah, you still got the little checked off hero coins there. Okay. It's done properly this time. Hello to Me Muppet. Me Muppet says, who built these boardwalks? I assume the Brothers Bear. I don't know. I mean, not the Brothers Bear, but bears. Other bears. Other bears from other mother bears. So, Seabed Shanty. This is... I have to say, I don't like the underwater levels of Donkey Kong Land 3. I didn't like the underwater levels of Donkey Kong Land 2. I think they are labyrinths. I think they are mazes. And I think this is really where the lack of recognizable details... Shit. The lack of recognizable details, the reduced screen visibility, it really hurts just having water levels. Because, like, where am I supposed to go? There's so many different branching pathways. It's so easy to get turned around, especially the way Rare would design these. I mean, all Donkey Kong levels are very not traditionally linear. They can just go left to right, right to left, up, down, down, up. So it's very easy to confuse yourself, especially if you collect the bananas and then you no longer have that path back. What I should do is not collect the bananas, right? That would probably be the smart thing to do. My little collecting brain wants to collect all the bananas. Oh, Bazas are back. Once again, though, can I just say, the way that they were able to take these ACM renders or models, these Silicon Graphics workstation designed characters and environments, translate them on the Game Boy so that they are still very legible and they still retain what makes them pop on the Super Nintendo. I mean, it's amazing to me that the Donkey Kong Land games exist, and to a lesser extent, other games of this era that did the same thing, even the ones not by Rare. Like, I realize they don't look impressive. I love how the bounty basses still didn't give me any bounty, but it still did the, like, swim away in the distance effect. But yeah, it's not impressive by today's standards, but for those who are old enough to remember the before times, I still think they're just beautiful in their own way. So yeah, bear coins are back. I saw a barrel over there, but I think it's one of those things where I'm just seeing ahead, but where I can't get to yet. See, this is confusing, because this is like, what am I swimming around this? Okay, is there anything over here then? No? Okay. Yeah, the coral levels in Donkey Kong Land 3, not my favorite. For as much as people have really come around and they consider the coral levels in DKC 3 to be some of the series' best, just resplendent. I mean, some even say they are better than the coral levels of Donkey Kong Country, the saltwater lakes or what have you, with aquatic ambience. I don't know. Depends how I'm feeling on a given day, but okay. Lurchins probably are guarding a bonus barrel. Okay. Would have been funnier. Okay, well, there's in guard. It would have been funnier if they were guarding on guard. 'Cause words. Those clownfish, by the way, are called Cocos, for those who have forgotten. I just bring that up now because it will be important later. Blue-doo. Of course, this is Kiddy's final appearance. Not counting being a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Spirit, I should say. But yeah, this is Kiddy's final appearance in a Donkey Kong game. Of course, he was going to be in Donkey Kong Racing, we all know, but didn't happen. I have to say, you know, I do like Kiddy. People, I think the cult of Kiddy Kong hatred. I shouldn't collect those bananas. The cult of Kiddy Kong hatred is one of those things where it just kind of becomes easy internet groupthink. And it's also some residue from, see, there's a pointing down arrow, but okay. No, that's interesting too. Underwater levels in Donkey Kong Land 3 do not have coins guarding the hero coins. They are just in the water as they would be in Donkey Kong Land 2 or Country 2. Because you don't actually go on the surface in these levels, so yeah. Where am I going? Was there anything over there, though? I saw the Lurchins, and I was like, they might be guarding something, as they were before. Okay, that was back up with the hero coin. Bear coin. Lurchins. Lurchins. See, I assume the arrows... I always assume the arrows are telling me where I'm supposed to... Okay. Yeah. But then they hide the bonus barrels or hero coins or what have you away from the arrows. Donkey Kong Land 2 didn't always follow that rule, though. Now, this is a mostly different team yet again, so... Okay, you never know where it's going to materialize either. Alright, so I think I'm just about done here then. 2 bonus barrels. 2 bonus coins. Oh, this is interesting. I'm in guard, but I can finish the level off by boop, touching a flag. So it should be in guard colored, if we could see in color. But it's going to be Kiddy's victory there. Hello to Chris in the chat, who says up and down and all around in reference to the way the water levels are designed. Or, I guess, the way all Donkey Kong levels are designed from this era, but specifically, in that case, the water levels. Now, Wrinkly Save Cave is no longer Wrinkly Save Cave. These are still the same cave designs, but this is Wrinkly Refuge. And why they renamed it, I do not know, because it still has the same purpose. It saves your game. In Donkey Kong Country 3, I believe the manual or some ancillary text explained that you were actually accessing the very same save cave. And these were just the tunnels that led to the save cave. The one right by Funky's Rentals and Bazaar's General Store. So I guess this would be a separate cave. This is like a different... either a different series of caves or, once again, the same cave that you're just accessing through a network of tunnels, but a different cave from the save cave. Are you clear what I'm saying here? So they couldn't call it the save cave if it's canonically not the save cave. I'm sure they put a lot of deep thought into this. Days upon days of deliberation and argument at the conference table. So they decided Wrinkly Refuge is what we're calling it because it's not the same save cave, even though It was built by the same architect, as you can see. Why, if it isn't Donkey, or is it Funky? No, Diddy. Oh, she's in the throes of dementia. She doesn't have much longer left, does she, folks? This is actually her last appearance alive before she appears as the dearly departed in Donkey Kong 64. Now, she mentions Funky there. Funky's only reference in this game. He does not put in any single appearance in Donkey Kong Land 3. Neither does Donkey, neither does Diddy. You see Cranky's portrait up on the wall there. That's Cranky's only acknowledgement in this game. Wrinkly is the only Kong helper in Donkey Kong Land 3. So, along with Diddy and Kiddy, or excuse me, along with Dixie and Kiddy, she's it. She's it as far as the Kongs go. So tell your friends. Tell your friends that Cranky doesn't appear physically in any Donkey Kong Land game. But he does appear as a portrait in Wrinkly Refuge, and of course he is the instigator of the plot in Donkey Kong Land. Let's save. Oh my god, 4%. I've been playing for like 37 minutes. Keep an eye out for those Kremlins! Classic Wrinkly quote. Because, again, what the hell is happening here? Where's QA? Where's the proofreader? You spelled Kremlin as the location in Moscow, which has different connotations these days than it did in the post-Cold War 1990s, post-Soviet 90s. But, yeah, Wrinkly, I mean, her dentures might be loose. She's slurring her speech. But when the infamous DKLIII DDoS attack of November 2016 happened, I'm not going to get into that here, but that quote really came into play quite a bit. Oh, Matt has joined us. Hello, Matt. Matt concurs and says, keep an eye out for those Kremlins. And I'm going to at Fort Knox. Fort Knox, yeah. Yeah. So we got a little bit of in-guard action beneath the boardwalk here. Oh, come on, that Coco. I wanted you to stab that Coco in guard. Well, you didn't do it. Now I don't want to stab anybody because I feel like the hit detection is just going to be so poor, you're not going to do it. I feel like I'm missing so much, but I'm kind of locked in as in guard. I can't jump out of the water as in guard. So it's like, what's the point of this? I'm going to have to come back. That's fine. That's fine. See, there's no point to that. That was just a bunch of nonsense. That was just, oh, do you want an easy little break? Are you tired? Are you tired of this platforming action? Remember when you were swimming in the last level? Let's swim again. It's like, no, I'm tired of swimming. I want to be on dry land, or at least dry boards of wood. Well, alright. Bash the baddies. I will. Bash. Bash. I said bash, kitty. See, I'm so... Oh, that was a twofer. I'm so leery about the, like, hit detection in the Donkey Kong Land games. Man, once again, the hit detection is better than it was in the first Donkey Kong Land. But... I don't know. Especially, you know, after playing the retro-designed Returns, which really just feels so different compared to these. Well, what's under here? Nothing. Anyway, let's talk about Kiddy some more. I feel like, of course, Kiddy was this... I don't know, he was held up as, like, everything wrong with Rare's Donkey Kong. And, of course, when Donkey Kong Country 3 came out in 1996, this was the era where the PlayStation was really taking off and games were growing up. And a lot of people just took, yeah, look at that limp flag. I also had to jump over it if I want that bear coin. So we're going to go back into Fort Knox. But we're not going to go underneath the water this time. We're going to see what's above. Pfft. Ah! What? Oh, there's a cobble or something up on the roof. Anyway, so like to have a baby character or at least a toddler character in like a onesie as the partner character of Donkey Kong Country 3, it was just, oh, ew, it's a game for babies. It's a baby game. Of course, Nintendo tried to market, or at least Nintendo of America tried to market Kiddy Kong as this badass, this wild child who rides motorcycles and has lip piercings, and because they didn't want to market Dixie because ooh, girl. But look at that, look at that. I'm gonna go back and save because why? It's free. I could save as much as I want. Doesn't cost anything. Keep an eye out for those Kremlins. Total recoil. Oh god. Recoil, of course, is the bouncing orange Kremlin. For those who forget. Okay. Wasn't even really trying to get into... Those are recoils right there. Anyway, so people take Kiddy at face value, and they think, oh, he was supposed to be a badass, but he's just a dumb baby. Donkey Kong Country 3, and to a lesser extent, Land 3, are for babies. They're so juvenile. I hate Kiddy Kong. I didn't want the warp barrel. I'm just checking out all the corners, and you put me in a damn warp barrel. I didn't want to go in the warp barrel. What are you doing? Stop it, Donkey Kong Land 3. I don't want to warp. Your levels aren't that long. Stop making me skip over your game. Anyway, the point of Kiddy Kong is that he is a toddler. He is a baby in a onesie. And Dixie was stuck with him. Dixie didn't have her own Dixie Kong like Diddy had. She didn't have a Diddy Kong like Donkey Kong had. She didn't have this capable, really intriguing character to have her back. She had to babysit. It was kind of like a... Stop it! Why? It won't even let me start and select out of the warp zone here. Okay. Jesus. So I think I don't want to say that people who hate Kiddy Kong lack media literacy. Because I think people in the 90s had more media literacy. God damn it! Why did they put it there where it's just so easy to stumble into it? Why? A warp should be hard to get to. Yeah. I know. I'm not gonna go over there again. All right. Kiddy is easier to hit the back of the coins with the kegs because he has the... I think he has the better throw of the two. But yeah, like, Kiddy is not supposed to be as cool. I know Kiddy has his fans. I don't want to get in trouble with the Legion of Kiddy Kong supporters Because I do really like Kiddy, but Kiddy is not supposed to be Diddy. Kiddy is not supposed to be Dixie. He is supposed to be a goofy toddler in a onesie. That's the point of Kiddy. And I think people, probably because Nintendo of America's marketing campaign was so bad for this game, and so scared of marketing the girl, that people had the wrong impression of Kiddy at the time. And then, you know, after the fact, they have no understanding of why Kiddy exists or what function he has in the story. Even in this game, even in Donkey Kong Land 3, he's basically grabbed by Dixie because Dixie doesn't have anybody else. Dixie has been left behind by Donkey and Diddy. So, like, Kiddy works, but Kiddy is always in service to Dixie's arc. Kiddy doesn't really have a story arc. I would love if they would bring back, you know, Kiddy aged up and actually give Kiddy something to do. But, again, that's not the point of Kiddy in these two games, so. And I think Chunky, you could do interesting things with Kiddy, but I think Chunky is a more interesting character, Kiddy's older brother, just because, you know, you don't need to do the whole age up. You don't need to push the fast forward button on time. And there wasn't that much time between this and 64. So Chunky just has these character traits that are, I think, more interesting. And you can do more with it. He's big, but he's a coward. I mean, it's not really that deep, is it? But so yeah, I like Kiddy. You just have to understand Kiddy. And you have to just really get that these games are Dixie Kong's games, despite what the marketing would have you believe. There we go. No more Warp Barrel. Martro says, Chunky and Kiddy game next. And Chris says, if we never had Kiddy, we never have had Kiddy's kitties. And yeah, I want to bring back Kiddy as this stunted weirdo who licks cats. I don't think that's such a wild ask, Nintendo. Can you give hot tea to a toddler? Well, again, throws of dementia. She doesn't have much longer left, folks. Go easy on her. The Sheepy Shop. Oh, the Sheepy Shop. Now, go back and listen to the conversation I did with Malik towards the end of Season 12 about the Donkey Kong Land Trilogy coming to NSO. I'll get into some trivia about the Sheepy Shop, but long story short, the Sheepy Shop was a local, kind of one-stop rural convenience store slash post office that members of, well, this team, but I guess all of Rare, would go to on their lunch break, because it was the closest you could get to on your lunch break and make it back at the time when Rare was in the manor house with the barns and what have you, before they moved into their state-of-the-art campus, Manor Park. But yeah, that's the Sheepy Shop. That's where that name comes from. And again, they just stopped caring with Donkey Kong Land 3, and so they decided, we're going to call this secondary NPC location the Sheepy Shop. It's kind of a tribute to our life in 1997. So here we go, folks. Who runs the Sheepy Shop? Well, your pockets are bulging is something you don't want to say to a minor. Bazaar Bear is the model. As you can see, he's got the apron, the smock that Bazaar Bear wears. It's clearly Bazaar's model from Donkey Kong Country 3. However, there is a lot of debate about this bear's identity. And I do realize I am probably in the minority. I am probably the only one, actually, who continually goes to bat for this being Bazaar Bear. Because in the credits, and I'm spoiling things a little bit, but just bear with me here. Bear with me here, because in the credits, this bear character is just called Bear. And because we at DKLIII ascribed Bear to be the surname of the Brothers Bear, which was something that Nintendo Power's Player's Guide ran with, which put the idea in our heads, and we thought that was always the intention, even though if you look closely at the Donkey Kong Country 3 materials in the game or in the instruction manual, I don't think it ever says that Bear is their surname, but the Player's Guide loomed large, and, you know, we were like, yeah, Bizarre Bear. So that would mean this character, if this character is just called Bear, this character is Bear Bear. And of course, Bear Bear became a running joke on DKLIII throughout the years, which is funny because Bjorn in Donkey Kong Country 3, that means bear, so that would also be Bear Bear. So is this Bjorn? No, it's not. It looks like Bizarre. Some people say this is a separate Brothers Bear. I know Freezer, I know Chris will yell at me, and I'll start bringing up stuff like Banjo's father, and look. I personally believe it's Bizarre, because I mean, look, it's Bizarre. Like, I don't know, like, what to say. Like, yes, it could be a different bear who's just also wearing an apron, because how would we ever know? But I think that the credits didn't specify the name of the Brothers Bear because there's only one, and they only serve one purpose. Could they have given this Brothers Bear a different identity? Calling him, like, something else? Like, about card dealing or something? Yeah, they could have. They probably should have, quite honestly. Like, this is Donkey Kong Country Returns level not giving a fuck about character names. This is Donkey Kong 64 level of not giving a fuck about character names. But my personal belief, it is Bizarre Bear. I think that makes the most sense. However, I know there is a legion of Bear Bear devotees out there who will fight me tooth and nail, or tooth and claw about this. So this bear, be it Bizarre or Bear, runs the Sheepy Shop. What is the Sheepy Shop? Well, the Sheepy Shop is effectively a G-rated casino where you play card games. But the only card game is a memory matching game a la Super Mario Bros. 3 or you know, any similar game from your childhood. Now, this bear, you see that little sign on the desk that says teleport with a little arrow? What the hell does that mean? Well, let's say no. Can I tempt you to spend 2 coins on some useful info? Let's say no for now. Pop in again if you're passing by. Let's go back in. Whoa, your pockets are bulging. Want to play cards? Yeah, I will this time, actually. Chris says, if you want to believe it's Bizarre Bear, Banjo's chemistry teacher, that's fine too. All right. Well, let me play this memory matching game. Now, cards on the table, pun intended, I'm probably going to fail the first time around. I could just, with this, I could just cheese it, I should say, with save states. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this honestly, as I would have in 1997. Alright, in guard, nope, Banana Bunch, Life Balloon, no Kitty, Dixie, Banana Bunch, oh, where was the Banana Bunch? Shit. What's that? No, okay, Banana Bunch, Life Balloon, yeah, okay, Ellie, Squawks, no, oh, Squawks, Squitter, that's Kitty, I think Kitty was, yeah, Dixie, Ellie, Squitter, Bear Coin, oh, but that's that, yeah, in guard, nope, Bear Coin, yeah, and then in guard, okay, I did it, fine, it wasn't so hard. Great going. Let's see what I can rustle up for you. It's kind of my last name. Hero coin. And was that a stopwatch? And it only took you 45 seconds. Sweet. Pop in again if you're passing by. Okay, but I want to do more. Hey, I gotta make a living too. No. Can I tempt you to spend 2 coins on some useful info? Yes. Just for the sake of seeing what it is. Yes. Coco Channel. Find Squitter and head to the left. Pop in again if you're passing by. Okay. Well, how do I teleport? How do I teleport? Oh, maybe I can't teleport yet until I beat the world? I wanted to show off the teleportation, because I have theories about why this is Bizarre Bear. And the teleport effect is a big component of it. It's part of like Train of Madness. My, like, just full-on Pepe Sylvia at the conspiracy board. Like, just utter guano droppings of a brain. I want to display that. I guess we'll have to come back later, though. Coco Channel, the absolutely best name in any Donkey Kong game. I love that they named this. So I didn't know who Coco Chanel was. Nazi collaborator notwithstanding. Who isn't these days? But I didn't know who Coco Chanel was in 1997, right? So Coco Channel didn't make any sense to me as a pun. Coco's being the clownfish. And then once you learn who Coco Chanel is, and you go back to this, and you're just like, oh my god. That's like the kind of joke that you would see on like Animaniacs or Tiny Toon Adventures back in the day, where it was too like adult. It was too erudite for your little kid brain, but the fact that it's in there, I feel like it's one of those things that makes you smarter after the fact, or it makes you more knowledgeable. Not smarter, but makes you more knowledgeable with historical trivia after the fact. Alright, and it is a riverbank. Alright, I guess I'll dive down there and see. It's going to be one of those levels where you can go high or you can go low. And we might have to... Yeah, so I'm going to swim back and see if I missed anything up there. Already, though, can I just point out, like, the backgrounds are just... I think they did a better job than Donkey Kong Land 2 did with the backgrounds. And yeah, the fucking hero coin was up there. Like, it's not as detailed as Donkey Kong Land 1, of course, but that had so many problems playing it on a traditional brick Game Boy that I do think this is a little bit more interesting visually in the background, especially under the water. What is anything? Nope. Okay, so clearly the knick-knack is serves some secretive purpose. Oh, it was just a life balloon. That doesn't seem worth it. I don't want to fall into a warp barrel. I probably won't at this stage of the level. Oh. At least I knew what I was doing for once. Okay. Guess I just need a little bit more lift. No. Okay. Interesting. I can't make it. Unless I was supposed to approach from the other side, but I don't think... Oh, there. Okay. I just was lacking skills. Find a token, but where is the token? Is the token up here, or is it down in the water? I guess I didn't need to go in the water at all. Okay. Why is there a... Unless... Okay. Squitter. Oh, was this what Bear was talking about? Was I supposed to go back with Squitter to get that? But so you're not supposed to reach it like that, which is why I was struggling with it. But I'm just so good at Donkey Kong Land 3 that I just broke the game. Because I was supposed to reset with Squitter. Well, then where the hell is Squitter? Where's my buddy? There's Squitter. See? See? This is what Bear was talking about. Can I just show you what Bear was talking about? This is what Bear was talking about. But you know, I'm so good that I just outthought the game. Yeah. I would lose Squitter though, and now I'm gonna keep Squitter. Squitter and I are gonna be together forever now. What happens though? Oh, I'm gonna regret this. What happens if Squitter gets wet? Is it like a gremlin situation? Yeah. Squitter doesn't like getting wet. Ah! Well, now we know. We've done the science. We know what happens if Squitter gets wet. He dies. It's like the nursery rhyme. Itsy bitsy whatever. My favorite Diddy's Diddy. No! I wanted to get the DK barrel down there, Squitter. You could have just, like, held your breath for a little bit of time. Come on. Of course, since I finished Donkey Kong Land 2, we've had the news that Nike is, yeah, this is shades of Web Woods here. Nike is doing a Donkey Kong Country inspired sneaker, part of the Air Max 1 line, you know, the Air Jordan lineage. Not like authorized by Nintendo, but it is an official Nike product, and it is inspired by the Donkey Kong Country games. And somebody had a good point on Blue Sky when they responded to my news posting for it. They should have just done Squitter sneakers. Right? Like you would have to actually go through Nintendo for that, but that would have been just the best Donkey Kong shoe design. Could have also done Espresso's trainers, I guess, but I think we all really want Squitter's shoes. And for those who are wondering, no, I am not going to buy the Air Max 1 Donkey Kong shoes. It's just, I think they use suede. I don't know if it's authentic suede or not, but that's a leather byproduct, and you know, I'm a strict vegan, and even though it's Donkey Kong, I wouldn't feel right about having suede shoes. I'd be a hypocrite. Filthy little hypocrite. I've got to draw the line somewhere. Plus, they're ugly. They're the ugliest shoes I've ever seen. And, I mean, I'm not a fashionista. I don't know anything about fashion. See the Grapes shirt on our merchandise store for proof of that, but I would almost want to wear them just for the novelty's sake, but then at a certain point the novelty wears off and I'm just stuck with ugly ass shoes. And I'm one of those people who, like, I have one pair of sneakers that I'll wear for like 4 to 5 years until they're just busted and falling apart, and then I'll get a new pair. So alright. 11%. This game is actually blowing by. I have to say, I'm having a lot more fun than I was with Donkey Kong Land 2 at this point in the adventure. Although, you know, that could change. It could change quite readily here. I also just spent a lot of the first hour talking about lore and history, which is, you know, my version of fun, so it could be weighting things. It is also just great to see the Donkey Kong Country 3 Kremlins and characters again. So underserved. I mean, all Donkey Kong characters are underserved, you know that, but I see a keg and I'm like, well, there might be a coin nearby, so I need to be ready. I bet the warp barrel is right there. Okay, no. Sorry, the coin is here and I just lost the keg. I'm going to be mad about it. But yeah, like, I know people don't like buzzes nearly as much as they like zingers. I don't either, but I still like buzzes. I really like recoils. I like Kiddy. I like the Brothers Bear. I like so much about Donkey Kong Country 3. So it is nice to have this second adventure with those aesthetics. Just like Donkey Kong Land 2 was nice to have a return of the piratical Kremlin crew, even if it didn't do as much new with them as I would have liked. Okay. Well, it's kind of hard when that buzz is right there. That keg would really come in handy right now. Kiddy's dopey idle animation. See, I'm wondering... Yeah, there's something over there. I knew it. Damn it. I just gotta wait for the buzz to be in a good spot where I can roll jump. Really make you work for it. They really take you for a long walk there. Oh my god, this feels like a rigging stage. Or like slip slide ride, maybe. This is very atypical for Country/Land 3. Oh wow. There's Kiddy's little tantrum. We like to see it. It's fun. It's all in good fun. Screaming babies. We're all screaming babies these days, am I right? I'm feeling it. I have a breakdown once a day now. It's not healthy. Of course, I also love the Northern Hemisphere as a location. I've said before, and I'll say it again, damn it, that the Northern Hemisphere is where I would most want to live. If I had to live in the Rare Archipelago, I think that would be the best option of the bunch. Timbers Island might be nice, assuming it's not being occupied by an evil extraterrestrial whiz pig. You'd have a lot of diversity of environment on Timbers Island, but you would have that in the Northern Hemisphere too. The Northern Hemisphere really does strike a chord with a lot of people, just because I think it resembles just the nature that a lot of people grew up with. Not everyone. Some people grew up in tropical climates, of course, and, okay. Wow, these are long-ass ropes for this mill. Means I just want... Okay, it's just a bear coin I missed. And, yeah, the North Hemisphere really conjures, like, happy childhood memories of summer vacations, or even just the nature of your own backyard. so many people in the Americas call it like the Canadian Donkey Kong Country, even though it's supposed to be Central Europe. I think it's invoking more than anything, but it shows just how universal a lot of the Northern Hemisphere seems compared to the more exotic locations of Country 1 and Country 2 / Land 1 and Land 2. So this guy right here in the barrel, Naka, right, from Donkey Kong Country 3, the new version of Clobber that they do a very poor job of hiding, considering they painted the barrel and put the little angry mouth on there. This one's a bit of a curious little side note, and I don't know if I should get into it now or if I should wait till the game's end credits, because this character, this baddie, this enemy, this member of the Kremlin crew, is mislabeled in the credits. It's mislabeled as a Kremlin who doesn't appear in Donkey Kong Country 3 or Land 3, and it raises some very interesting questions. And I think I'm going to save it for the discussion when I get to the end credits for the character parade. But I just wanted to put that out there now that yes, I am aware that there's something weird going on with this dude in Donkey Kong Land 3. And I'll address it when it's time. I could not address Bear, because that's such a huge part of that character's identity or mistaken identity. Well, what the hell is this? Is there nothing up here? Was it really just a bear coin? Because that seems like it should be the location of a bonus barrel, right? And it would be invisible, sure, but that just seems... Okay. They could just hide a bear coin. It's within their rights. Honestly, you know, most mills don't have anything hidden. There's no treasure in most mills. It's weird. So the fact that they had anything, why am I being so judgy? Why am I wanting more? Like any flour mill you go into, you're not going to find golden coins. I guarantee it. I don't know where I'm going. There's so many ways, so many branching paths. Okay. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Find the token. Okay. Is it here? No. Is it up here? Well, is it up here? It is! I found the token, everyone. Nothing behind here. Okay, boop. Hello, Andre. Just Andre has joined us. Just Andre has a little bit of a side note here. Compromise. When the theme park opens, you get a Professor Chop's hot dog, but you don't eat it. You just put it in a glass case and keep it as a permanent addition to your DKU merch collection. And then Traveler the Star says that they may have called in about something similar for the first episode of The Conversation in Season 13. So yeah, we're at the boss already of Cape Codswallop. So let me go to Wrinkly's Refuge, drink some tea. Dixie's within the age where it's safe for her to drink hot scalding tea. Keep an eye out for those Kremlings. Oh, it's sad. Should really put her in a home. So yeah, Barboss is the boss of Razor Ridge in the original Donkey Kong Country 3. And of course that's relatively late in the game, but here they moved her up to be the boss of the first world. And yeah, so the bosses are the same as Donkey Kong Country 3, but they've changed the order they appear, and also, just like in Donkey Kong Land 2, the fights aren't necessarily the same. So it feels more like, rather than just repeating the same beats, you're actually just seeing familiar characters again. It's like, how many Kirby games do you fight or do you encounter the Blowing Tree? Wispy Woods, right? It's a little bit of that, a little taste of that for the Donkey Kong fans. And you do fight her as Ingard again, and that's fine. Be weird to fight her as... Oh, okay, I can't just stab her. Still, okay, so the mechanics are still the same. Fight her with her own lurchins. Ah! Ah! Oh, look at that squish. Don't you just want to stick your finger in there and touch it? Ah! Ah! It feels a lot like K. Rool Duel. It feels a lot like that. It has the same kind of blunderbuss shooty sensation. The way she fires off these lurchins. I love the way the eyeball squishes to the side. I was a bit worried about like hit detection and like knocking the lurchin when you can't see her, but the game is pretty good about it. Oh, that's it. Wow, she was still wounded from Donkey Kong Country 3. She was still not at 100%, so it didn't take as much. And, you know, honestly, shame on Chaos or whomever for making these bosses get back in the field less than a year after they were absolutely walloped the last time. Primate Plains is next, but look at this long walk. That's a long walk to World 2, folks. Like, you could have had, like, 2 other worlds in there. Just economically speaking, what wild adventures are Dixie and Kiddy just missing out on in that empty space? Granted, I think, like, all the space in the water, that's Cape Codswallop itself. Because you look, you go deeper, and you're like, yeah, it is. So let's see if the teleportation works, because I have some points to make about this. Oh yeah, 5 coins will buy you a test drive in my new teleport. So you just got it working. Yes. All right. So you see, it's kind of got the little whirlwind, the little dust devil, Tasmanian devil kind of effect. This is very similar to the way the actual Kong to Kong teleportation worked in the original Donkey Kong Land. So I'm like, what is this bear character doing with a teleportation system? That's a wild leap. And keep in mind that the whole thing about the Kongs teleporting on and off screen, that's really never mentioned in Lands 1 and 2. That's never really part of the game's language. That's just something I have always used to refer to it. So this is the first time it's actually called teleportation in any of the Donkey Kong Land games. But the teleportation changed between Land 1 and Land 2. And the teleportation you have in Land 2 is the same as you have in Land 3, you know, switching between the Kongs. And they just go poof, and little explodey effect. But in Land 1, they did this, like, shrink down into the starburst and then enlarge out of the starburst. And then, if you got hit by an enemy and your partner Kong came onto the screen, they would swirl up like a little tornado. So, my theory is the teleportation device that the bear is using in the Sheepy Shop is the same teleportation device from Land 1. And it was gifted to him by his friend, Funky Kong. Because Funky Kong was like, well, I'm not using this teleportation Mark 1 anymore. You can have it. You can use it as like a little travel feature, a little perk for people who are going to the Sheepy Shop. You know, it's a vacation destination in the Northern Hemisphere, and they might have a Sheepy Shop package. And so what this bear character can provide is a way to teleport around the Northern Hemisphere from the Sheepy Shop. Like, let's say you wanted to go to the Sheepy Shop in Cape Codswallop, or you wanted to visit Cape Codswallop, but you were staying in Primate Plains. This is an easy way to get around this region of the Northern Hemisphere because there's no Funky's Rentals here. So Funky gave the bear character the original teleportation device. Now, what bear character would Funky be close enough to have that level of cooperation? Well, he's on the same landmass as Bizarre Bear in Donkey Kong Country 3. The Bizarre Bear who Bear shares the model with. Interesting. Interesting. And did you notice when I won the card game in the Sheepy Shop, the bear character threw a hero coin, threw a DK coin? Who got all the hero coins in Donkey Kong Country 3? At the very end of the game, who made off with all 41 of those? I do believe it was Funky Kong. So, ergo, that must mean that the Sheepy Shop is a joint venture between Funky Kong and Bizarre Bear. There's too much of Funky in there for it to make sense otherwise. This is how I come to the rationale that it is Bizarre Bear. I know what the credits say. I know Bear. I know Bear is funny. I get it. But I'm just saying, do a little bit of extra digging, folks. This world makes complete sense if you have enough brain damage. What are the coins doing with the hero coins? I guess they robbed the Sheepy Shop. Primate Plains. Coral. Oh, that's a great name. Coral. I'm Carl, and I'm in the Coral. But I am not really looking forward to another Coral stage, I have to say. Great name aside. This is probably gonna suck. So far, though, it's pretty narrow, which I appreciate. As narrow as Hank Hill's urethra, am I right? Cartoon fans? It's for you. It's for all you cartoon fans out there. I almost said Aretha, because I'm used to saying Aretha Franklin. You know how much I bring up Aretha Franklin. Have I told you my theory about Bazza? Now, Bazza is just a nickname in the UK. It's slang for someone named Barry, I believe. But Rare reuses Bazza so much in the under 4 years between Donkey Kong Land 3 and Conker's Bad Fur Day. It's the Barracuda in, the Barracuda in Land 3 and Country 3. It is the Battery brand in Banjo-Tooie, and it's one of the Dung Beetles in Conker's Bad Fur Day. And so I have a theory. Now, I know it's just UK slang for someone named Barry, and I believe it was someone's father at Rare. I forget who off the top of my head, but probably several people's relatives. But I think that the battery brand in Banjo-Tooie is named after the Barracuda. It's like one of those things where, you know, the Energizer Bunny keeps going and keeps going. So it's like, put the power of the Barracuda in your device. Make it as ferocious as a Barracuda. And then the Dung Beetle is named as such because he can eat so much poo, and he just keeps going and going as if he were powered by Baza brand batteries. So that's my headcanon. That's how I make it all consistent in the various series of the DKU, and why that name keeps coming up again and again and again. It's a Barracuda, and it was a battery, and it was a shit eater. I don't know where I'm going. I'm back in the labyrinth. Which would be a funny joke if I was Kiddy Kong right now, because then it would be a baby getting smacked. Ah! We've seen a lot of Engard. We haven't seen any Ellie. We've seen Squitter once. No Squawks. There's only 4 animal buddies in Donkey Kong Land 3, by the by. Engard, Squawks, Squitter, and Ellie. Quawks does not make an appearance this time around. No Quawks, sad to say. Sorry Quawks fans. And Perry the Parallel Bird doesn't make an appearance either. Was Perry mentioned in the instruction manual, but Perry's not actually in the game? There's something going on with Perry, but Perry doesn't actually make an appearance. It's not as egregious as the Glimmer appears on the Donkey Kong Land 2 box art thing, but it briefly made me think that Perry could be in Land 3 when I was originally playing it. And he wasn't. Still haven't found the hero coin, though, and that's distressing. Okay. Simple. Clean. Also, the underwater stages really just look great, don't they? Like, I know they're not my favorite. I know all of that. But I think the, like, really narrow passages really helps make up for the lack of background, lack of any distinguishing features. Okay, but what is that Lurchin really guarding here? Is it guarding this path? Or was he guarding the path above? See, I don't know. I don't know which way is the sneaky secret way and which way is the appropriate, like, mainstream way I'm supposed to go. That's the problem with Land 2 and Land 3's underwater levels. Because I'm always thinking I'm gonna go off the beaten path to find the little collectible. Ah! Oh, there was a little life balloon hidden there. Invisible. That could have been a Dixie balloon for all we know. If it's invisible, how would we know? Could have been a donkey life balloon. That would be fun. The Baza's guarding something, right? No. No. I mean, there's an Engard barrel. I'm in guard now. That's good. I want to be in guard. But again, am I going... No. I'm going down, and I should be going up. I'm looking for the hero coin, though. I almost wish coins were... like, in the surface area, because then at least I would know I have to be on dry land to get that DK coin. part of me is like, maybe I just hit the flag and then I can come in and I can explore more thoroughly and I can start and select whenever. I mean, sometimes that's just the better option. Donkey Kong Land 3 is the one game out of the original 6 I am probably least familiar with. I mean, it's kind of a toss-up between this and Land 2, honestly. But I do not have much of this committed to memory. Yeah, I'm just gonna boop boop. Oh, I didn't even get all the... What? Okay. I guess it gives you the floppy flag even if you get all the bonus areas, because there's no hero coin pendant. So I did get all the bonus areas, but it gave me the floppy flag, because the floppy flag is how it communicates you didn't get the hero coin. Okay. Okay. I understand you now, Donkey Kong Land 3. It's a bit different. It's a bit different. Because there's the golden pendant on the map screen in Donkey Kong Country 3. But the flag should be flying at full mast. Because I got all the bonus areas, which is what the flag signifies. But okay, it means two things in Land 3. Okay, okay, okay. I get it. I get it. I'm not gonna have a coral with coral. Although I might if I can't find this hero coin. Stop hitting things. Primates. Can't be hiding in that many areas. I mean, there's some alcove that I just overlooked the first time around. So far, I don't see any place it would be, unless there's an invisible passageway, which there's nothing to indicate, though. There's nothing to indicate any invisible passageways. See, I got all the bonus areas. I briefly thought I didn't, but I got the exclamation mark on the map, which means, as I said, about the flag. I'm not gonna repeat myself about this. I'll repeat myself about Bear several times over. Okay. Ha! I just overlooked it the first time around. And see, look. Now, if I had touched the flag that time, it would be fully erect. It would be just protruding, because it would have that little extra sheen, the bing, of the hero coin. Minky Mischief. Oh my god, it's a return of the Minkies. Everybody's favorite antagonistic monkey. And also Nids. Nids are back. It's a treetop level, everyone. It's a little interior tree level. Everybody remembers these. Everybody loves these from Donkey Kong Country 3. So I'm sounding sarcastic. I don't know if I am or not. Look at the Minkies. Look at that. Look at that little white monkey who looks blue with the Game Boy Color effects. Okay, you're not going to give me a barrel shield there. Fine. I'll just go, then. Wow, just repeating itself quite a bit here. Like me about Bear Bear. Get that, yes, but clearly the buzz is hiding something down there, and so it is. Okay, interesting. Interesting choice. Ah! All the stars are just lumped together here. I love Kiddy's little eyebrow raise. He like does it incessantly in Donkey Kong Land 3. You don't even need to like stop touching the controls but for a fraction of a second, and he just starts it up. Look at that. What a little cocky shit he is. Like yeah, you were the sidekick in one adventure. I mean, well done, Kiddy. I'm not trying to dismiss it, but he's like, yeah, I'm Kiddy Kong. Hello. Oh. And look, Dixie just blinks. She's so done with it. She just can't believe she has to deal with this shit. Oh yeah, it's Squawks, everyone. Squawks is here. Our buddy Squawks. That's why there's the no animal sign back there. Because that would break things. Well, this is a much better first appearance in the game for Squawks than Squawk Shaft in Donkey Kong Land 2. I almost said Shaft, like the Isaac Hayes song, but it's just so much more confined, and you know exactly where you want to go, and there's no just bumbling around in just this unending space. Which means you get a feel of Squawks a little bit better if this is your first time using him in a Donkey Kong Land game. Of course, this is the last time that Squawks serves this role in a Donkey Kong platformer, because Donkey Kong 64, he is kind of like your guide throughout the adventure. Donkey Kong Country for the Game Boy Color, he's back holding the flashlight. And then in the retro games, you know, he is the puzzle sniffer. Which is a shame because obviously Squawks made an impression in these 4 appearances, starting with Donkey Kong Country 2. The fact that he is the most prominent animal buddy alongside Rambi, and has never really gone away, like so many other animal buddies. But I would love to get to control Squawks again. I would love to get to play as Squawks again. That's why they put that Squawks barrel there. Oh, but is this a maze? But I found it. I didn't need Squawks to sniff that out. I used my own nose. Ooh, Diddy balloon. I guess Diddy was just in this tree. Well, you know what? He can't have that balloon. We're gonna take it. We're gonna teach that boy a lesson about respecting his girlfriend and treating her as an equal. That is the goal for Diddy that we're setting out. For him to get over the faux male machismo that he's been taught by his elders, by his cranky Kongs. Oh, I was just up there. Oh no, I'm lost. Oh, there's a Minky. I don't recognize that Minky, so if I can get over I can't get over, so it must be... Oh no, this is... What? I'm lost! Okay. I like to think the humbling experience of Donkey Kong Land 3 is why Diddy served without question in Diddy Kong Racing, why he jumped to Timber's aid. And the only reason he didn't ask Dixie to come along on that one is because Timber asked him not to, in the original game, not Diddy Kong Racing DS. Okay. So the coin was right above, right? So the question is, how do I get up there to get the DK coin? Oh, well, I just got boinked by a minky. Okay, gotta figure out how to get to the coin. I do like the way the trees look with the Game Boy color effects. I mean, it's blue, it's very blue. But it really makes the textures really pop, especially for like the glistening of the interior trunk there. Like I said, they did a much better job with the backgrounds, I feel, for this one than in Land 2. Land 2 was just so sparse and desolate, and it really did make Crocodile Isle feel like it had already exploded, which is why it works so perfectly in my headcanon, but not very visually interesting to look at. And this, at least, you get the sense that this is still a robust forest, even if we can't see the forest for the trees. Well, I already got that, so don't need to. I don't need to. I know, I was just out here. Or just going backwards. I don't know. I'm trying to make sure there's no like branching path to get over to where the coin was. And again, I think I'm probably just overthinking. I'm probably just overlooking a very obvious solution that's there towards the end of the level that I just didn't see at the time, which I'm prone to do in these games. I'm assuming the game is being a lot more tricky than it actually is. And once again, I have to brave the Minkies as Kiddy. Just so long as that last one doesn't boink me, I should be fine. See, there's the coin up there. So how do I get to it? Like that. See, I was overthinking it. I was thinking that Donkey Kong Land 3 was some brilliant strategist. Oh no! Oh no! It's not gonna regenerate the keg? Maybe if I go down here and I come back up, and yeah! So I probably have to come out. Like that. And I did it, and it's fine. And it was no trouble at all. And look at that just fully erect flag. Starched as anything. Yeah, we have time to do jetty jitters. Chris is pointing out that I keep saying bear, bear. Well, I'm trying to dumb it down. Okay? I don't want to speak above what I'm assuming people are coming in. You know, they're wiki brains, and I don't want them to think that, you know, if I start talking about Bizarre Bear and I just insist that it's Bizarre Bear, I'm going to lose them because they don't know, like, who are you talking about? The guy from Donkey Kong Country 3? He's not in this one. It's clearly Bear Bear because I read about it on Super Mario Wiki. So I'm trying to, like, talk to everyone on their level so then they can eventually evolve, so they can ascend to the higher plane of existence that is Bizarre is a character in Donkey Kong Land 3. That's what I'm doing. Oh, hey. No mystery about where the hero coin is here, but where could the keg be? Well, I'm sure it's probably either up there or a little bit of a distance away. Oh yeah, big mystery. Gee, where could the keg be? And it just, there's a wall back there canonically, we just can't see it. Maybe one day we will have a whole story told about that wall. Just another invisible balloon. I'm gonna say the invisible balloons are Dixie balloons. Because it would be a shame if she could not collect her own balloons in her own game. Right? Right. Okay, so it's another level where we know there's stuff happening in the water below, but there's stuff happening above here, so we're going to have to really explore this twice. Unless we just get lucky and find everything, and then there's really no need to explore everything. I found a bonus barrel. It was right there. Yeah, let's use Dixie. I feel like Dixie is a little bit more nimble when we're dodging clasp. I really like Cobble's design. Look, I like the Donkey Kong Country 3 Kremlings. I know they don't look like crocodiles. They look like mutated iguanas that are like nudist, and we hate them, but I don't know. They're what they are. I like that they're different. I like that they're unique. Do I like them as much as the Kremlings from the first two country and the first two land games? No. Of course not, but I like them quite a bit. That was an interesting design for a bonus area, just the full 360-degree path. I actually like that. You know, I'm liking a lot about Donkey Kong Land 3 thus far. I had a far worse time with Donkey Kong Land 2 than I care to really admit. Because I don't like talking bad about any Donkey Kong game, really. Unless it's Donkey Kong 2. But, you know, Donkey Kong Land 2 really took some time to get going, to get cooking. And I did have a better time with it once I got to the later worlds, but so far, so good with Donkey Kong Land 3. The only thing that I'm a little iffy on are the underwater stages, the coral levels, but this is kind of fun. Oh, yeah. Glad to see them. Oh, interesting. That was a bit of a challenge. You had to bounce off the booty birds. I was hoping to get them all in one jump there. Nice. Nice. Excellent. And there's Wrinkly Refuge. We can save our game. I will. I will keep an eye out for those Kremlings. I always keep an eye out for those Kremlings. And you know what? We have time for one more level. Let's do Black Ice Blitz. Oh, it's a toboggan stage? Oh my god. I somehow forgot they actually put the toboggan in Land 3. Because, you know, minecarts weren't in Land 1. They did do roller coasters in Land 2, though, so I should have known. I should have known. Boing. Chris, I see you made a Lost reference when I said I was lost. And yes, Juliet is one of the best characters of the show. Even though Season 3 wasn't great, or at least the first half of Season 3 wasn't great, it really did come alive when Juliet joined the cast. Yeah, this is a little bit more challenging, isn't it? Those are great backgrounds, though. They really, like, I mean, yeah, it's just repeating the same tree again and again and again, but I mean, it visually communicates what it's supposed to be. You know, it's just a snowy-ass mountain behind you. Ah. Yeah, I need that balloon. Thanks, Diddy. I do like the toboggan. I'm not crazy about minecarts just being, like, everywhere in all the Donkey Kong games nowadays. Oh, I saw that. I saw that. I saw that bonus barrel in that little ditch. Probably gonna have to go back to that once I hit the no toboggan sign. Like, I understand minecarts are far more iconic, and it evokes the whole Indiana Jones thing, and yeah. Like, I don't have a problem with minecart stages, but some of them seem kind of forced. You know what I mean? Like, why is there a minecart track in this one particular area? I think it's kind of dumb sometimes, where a toboggan makes sense because it's just a toboggan, because it's a snowy hill, so there's going to be a toboggan there because people are going to be going sledding. I think it would be contrived if there was a minecart track here, is what I'm saying. So, wow, I'm struggling. I keep wanting to jump. Oh, I'll eventually learn the pattern soon enough. There's one thing I wish Tropical Freeze had done, would be to come up with some new on-rail gimmicks for the context of what was happening in the world, rather than just put a minecart in like this sea temple. Was that the only bonus area, though? Is my concern. And of course, I haven't even gotten to the coin yet, although the coin was probably... Ah! Yeah! Yeah, and the keg's up here. Yeah. Gotcha. I gotcha. Oh, and there's the second bonus area. Terrific. They really like doing the, like, go around the whole perimeter of the level. They really like doing that, don't they? Black Eyes Blitz, everyone. Which I feel like at this point they're just kind of reusing various, like, level names and just rearranging them and jamming them together. There's only so much alliteration you can do before you run out of words. But yeah, that's the beginning of Donkey Kong Land 3, everyone. We're about halfway through Primate Plains. We're going to drink some tea. Kiddy's first tea time. We're at 23%. Only an hour and 6 minutes of actual playtime. Everything else is just be me yammering on about bears and balloons and just utter nonsense. But that's part of the joy of Donkey Kong Land 3, in my opinion. That's what makes it so much superior to Donkey Kong Land 2 and so much more fun. And yes, keep an eye out for those Kremlings, everyone. You keep an eye out for those Kremlings at home, and I'll do the same. And we will be back here next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. GMT for DKLIII Done Slow Donkey Kong Land 3. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Have a splendid day.